boys and girls, Mr. Newman, and today we're just going to continue our quest with division. So, I like to start the day off with a real world problem, a real world math problem. Instead of just giving you an equation, I like to see the math inside a real world situation. Here's the problem today. There are 632 people staying in a hotel. Each room in the hotel can sleep 4 people. What is the minimum number of rooms needed for every person to have a place to sleep? Remember, you can't put more than 4 people in a room. This is a division problem. You're taking 632 people and dividing them in groups of 4. And we're going to look at this at a bunch of different strategies to see which one you like the best. Okay? So we're going to look at, we're going to do this in place value dis. Place value dis. We're going to look at that. Place value dis. We're going to look at an area model. Area model. We're going to look at the number bond. We're going to look at a number bond. Number bond. And then we're going to look at the standard algorithm. Standard algorithm. And I want you knowing all these methods on how to divide, and you can pick which one might be your favorite to work with. Which one do you see the answer the best? But these are all good strategies to use, and I want you knowing how to use all of them. So we're going to solve this problem using all of these strategies. It won't take that long. So first thing I'm going to do is write an equation here. I have 632 divided by 4 equals C. I'm going to estimate this real quick. I know that 4 times 15 is 60, and 60 is, add that other 0 there. That is definitely close to 630, so 600 divided by 4 is 60 divided by 4 is 15, then the extra 0 there would actually be 150. So 600 divided by 4 is 150, so let me back up and put my estimation signs there is 150. And you can work backwards to check this. 150 times 4 is 600. 15 times 4 is 60, then that times 10 puts that 0 there. So this is a good estimation. So my answer should be close to 150. If you're having trouble estimating, picking out friendly numbers, it's not that big a deal. You don't have to estimate for this problem. I like to do it so I don't make any silly mistakes and get an answer that is way, way, way off. Okay? It keeps me from getting an answer like in the thousands place or getting an answer in the tens place. I should get an answer in the hundreds place. Okay? All right, the first thing I'm going to do, let's do place value dis. I think it's probably the most simplest way to divide. It probably takes the longest, but it's a great method to use, especially to represent the answer. So let's go ahead and do a place value chart. So here we go. We have hundreds, we have tens, and we have the ones place. I'm just taking this number right here, and I'm going to put it in a place value chart. This is the dividend. This is the number that you're taking, and you're putting it into equal groups. Usually your large number in the equation. All right, I'm just making a very basic place value chart. You can draw one of these. Shouldn't take you long at all. We worked on these at the beginning of the year. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so I'm going to draw 600. I'm going to put 6 discs here in the hundreds place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to put 3 discs in the tens place. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to put 2 discs in the ones place. 1, 2. There we go. So we have 632. So that's done. Now we're just going to group them in sets of 4. We're going to group in sets of 4. So I'm going to change the color here and start grouping. So here I can group, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's one group of 4. But these two here, I don't have enough to group, so I have to move these over to the tens place. If I can't group them in 4, I have to move them to the next smallest place value. So if I have 100, that's actually 10 tens. So I move this 100 over here, so that's 10 tens. Same thing here. I've got to move this 100 over to the tens, and that would be 10 tens as well. So I just added 20 more tens because I moved 200 over. So these are gone. I'm just going to cross those out. I don't want to count them again. Those are gone. All right, now same thing. We're just going to put these in groups of 4. Remember, you pulled over 20. So if you have 20, how many groups of 4 would that be? Well, that would be 5 groups of 4, and you can probably do that real quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. That's 5 groups of 4. And then you got 3 left, and we don't have enough to make another group of 4. So we're going to have to, pull those over here to the next smallest place value. And the same thing, 10, if you have 1 10, that's 10 ones. So I've got to draw, basically, 10 discs over here for every one of these discs. So that would be 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's that one. Gone. Let's do the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's that one's gone. And then let's do this last 10. I'll put it down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there's the last 10. So now we keep grouping things. We keep grouping. We moved over 30 discs now. We're still just going to group these in groups of 4. So let's go ahead and do this. We can do it somewhat quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. We had exactly enough. That's awesome. So let's count up what we got. We don't have any left over, no remainders here. So let's count what we got here. I'm going to put this in black. So we have one group of 100. So that's 1 in the hundreds place. How many groups of 10s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 10. And then how many groups of 1s do we have? So let's count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 groups of 1. So it looks like my answer is 150 and then 8. 158. So it looks like C is going to, the quotient, the answer is going to be 158. And that's very reasonable. And in a minute, we'll come back and check this. But this is just a very basic way of showing division. Yes, it takes a while to draw this chart, but it's very basic. You can always refer back to this if you want to. This is just using place value discs. All right. So now let's use an area model. Let's go down here and use an area model. Remember the equation, 632 divided by 4. So 632 divided by 4 equals R. I'm going to show you what the area model is going to look like. So just draw, it's a terrible rectangle. I can do better than that. So here we go. 632 is my area. I'm going to say this is my length. Is 4. I don't know my width. That's what I want to figure out. This is the number that I want to try to get to. So I have to take 632 divided by 4. I'm going to break this number up in easier parts. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to use a number bond to help me do that. So here we go. I'm going to start with the number 632. And I'm going to just break that down to, I'm going to start with 400. Why did I start with 400? Because that's an easy multiple of 4. That is a super easy multiple of 4. So I got to figure out what I have left over. So let's just come over here and do a subtraction problem. 632 minus 400. I have 232 left. Okay, well, I'm going to look at these first 2 digits and say 23. Remember, I'm trying to get a multiple that's close to 4. I wish I could do 6 times 4, but that would be 24, and I can't go over. So it looks like I'm going to have to do 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 200, or excuse me, 5 times 20 is 200, so I'm going to use 200 next. Because why did I use 200? Because that's an easy multiple of 4. That's just 4 times 50. So now what do I have left over? Well, let me subtract this and see. 200 minus what I had left after I took away the total minus 400. I got 332. Now I'm going to subtract 200 from that, and I'm left with 32. And you should know that 32 is a multiple of 4. So that is all going to work out nice and pretty. So this is how I'm going to break up my area model with this bond. Remember, if you add all these numbers right here back together, 400 plus 200 plus 32, we get back to 632. Why did I break it up this way? Because these are all easy multiples of 4. Easy multiples of 4. So let's go back to my area model, and I'm just going to break up 632 into 3 boxes. We have 400, we have 200, and we have, that looks like the word zoo. What? There we go, 200, and then 32. All right, these are the areas of these smaller boxes, which is still just equal to 632. What's going to go in the top? Well, let's divide and see. Or we can actually use multiplication to see. 4 times what is 400? Well, 4 times 100 is 400. 4 times what is 200? 4 times 50. 50 is 200. And then 4 times what is 32? 4 times 8 is 32. And this is my area model. I just need to add these back up, and I get my quotient. Same thing here. You can do the same thing with this number bond. If you don't want to use an area model, we can just take 400 and divide that by 4. And then 200, divide that by 4. And then 32, divide that by 4. And you can see all these answers. I'll put them down here at the bottom. That would be 100. That would be 50. And this would be 8. And just add these up, and you'll get to your quotient. So R equals, let's add all these up. R equals, you can look at either one of them. R equals 158. Is that the same answer we got at the top? It is the same answer, 158 and 158. Awesome. R equals 158. So far we've seen place value dis. Place value dis. We've seen this is an area model right here. This is the area model. And this is number bonds. Number bonds. I'm just going to say number bond. There you go. There's 3 ways. The only way we haven't looked at is the standard algorithm. And this one's probably most people's favorite because it's the fastest. Let's look at that. And this will be the last one we look at today. So let's go 632 divided by 4 equals R. Let's set the problem up. We take 632, the dividend, we say divided by 4. And this is like my divide and my division bar that I use with the standard algorithm. All right, the standard algorithm follows these methods. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. It's always a good idea if you write this at the top of your page, just so you can follow these steps. The first thing that I do is I take my divisor and I divide it into the first digit. The first digit. I like to put these blanks up here, 1, 2, 3, because I need a digit above every single value inside that division bar. So this is where I put my quotient, my answer. So hundreds place, tens place, ones place. So if 4 can go into the first digit here, in this case it's my hundreds place, then you're going to have a value right here. So we divide. How many times can 4 go into 6? I'm only looking at the 6. I'm not even paying attention to the tens place or the ones place, only the 6 right now. So I'll just circle that. How many times can 4 go into 6? This is the division stage. You should say 1 time. 4 can go into 6 only 1 time. And now we multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. We write that underneath the 6. Remember, that's all I'm looking at. And then we subtract. We subtract. 6 take away 4 is 2. All right. And now we're on the B, the bring down stage. Now we're going to bring down the 3 next to the 2. So now we have, the problem moves down the page. We're looking down here. Now we have 23. We have 23. How many times 4 can fit into 23? We start the division stage back over. So once you get over here, you start back at divide again, and you start the whole process again. It's like you got a whole new problem. This is just 23 divided by 4. That answer is going to go right here, right above the digit that you brought down. It'll go in the tens place. How many times can 4 go into 23? Well, you can think of your multiples of 4. 4 times 6 is 24. That's too big, so it's probably going to be 4 times 5. 4 times 5. 5 times 4. 4 times 5. 5 times 4 is 20. And you put 20 underneath 23. That was we divided. 4 can go into 23 5 times. Now we multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. Now we subtract. 23 take away 20 is just 3. And remember, anytime you subtract, you always have to get an answer down here when you subtract less than this number right here, the divisor. Anytime you subtract and you get a number equal to or higher than the divisor, that means you didn't pick a big enough number up at the top. So it's a good way to check to make sure you're doing the problem right. All right, so we subtracted. Right here we subtracted. We got 3. Now we're at the B. We bring down the next digit all the way next to what we subtracted, which is a 2. Now we have 32. So I'm kind of circling all the numbers that I'm dividing by. First, we divided 4 by 6, and then 4 by 23. Now we got 32 divided by 4. And we start this process all over again. We divide. 4 can go into 32. That should be 8 times. Then we multiply. What happened? Sorry, 8 times. Now we multiply. 8 times 4 is 32. Now we subtract. We subtract 32 minus 32, and we get nothing. We get 0. Now we bring down, and look, there's no more digits to bring down, and we filled every digit in at the top in our quotient, so we don't have any more problem to do. The problem's finished. So the answer is 158. Now, what if I wanted to check this? Let's take 158, and that's the quotient. Let's multiply it by the divisor. And I should get this dividend. I should get this answer right here. So 4 times 8 is 32. I'm just going to use the standard algorithm. 4 times 5 is 20 plus 3 is 23. Put the 3 in the tens place. And then 4 times 1 plus 2 is 6 in the hundreds place. 632, 632. So this answer is correct. 158. So there is all your strategies, 4 strategies. And I know this video is getting a little long, but it's a good video to practice these different strategies. So we got place value disk, area model, number bond, and then the standard algorithm. All right, let's do one more problem in the thousands place. So I'm just going to make up a problem here. Let's do 12,000. No, let's do 1,238 divided by, let's say, 3 equals S. Now, since we have a 4-digit number here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I am going to use the standard algorithm. I like the standard algorithm, especially when I have a 4-digit divisor. 4-digit divisor. I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Not divisor. 4-digit dividend. I get those words mixed up too, so it's okay if you do as well. This is the divisor. This is the dividend. Sorry, I'm going to write it up here. Dividend. This is the dividend. This is the divisor. Divisor. That's a D. And this is the quotient, Q-U-O-T-I-E-N-T. There we go. Quotient, divisor, dividend. And these are words you need to know. I get these words confused a lot because they're very similar, but the dividend is your large number. That's the number you're taking and putting it in equal groups. The divisor is how many equal groups, and your quotient is the answer to those, how many equal groups you're going to have. So dividend, divisor, quotient. All right, I'm going to use the standard algorithm. I told you that would be my favorite, especially when working with a 4-digit dividend. So 1,238 divided by 3. And here's the strategy we use. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So here we go. I'm going to put these blanks at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 blanks at the top because I have a 4-digit number as the dividend. So can 3 go into 1? Well, 3 can't fit into 1, so I'm just going to put an X here. I'm not going to have a value in the thousands place. So now I just slide over and say, can 3 go into 12? Yes, 3 can go into 12 4 times. We just divided. Now we multiply. We take this number, 4 times 3. We write it underneath the number we just divided. And we subtract. We take this and we get, looks like we get 0. Cool. So 0 is definitely less than 3. We picked a good number. Now we subtracted. That was the S. And now we B, bring down. We're going to bring down the 3. How many times can 3 go into 3? It can go 1 time. So we just divided. Now we multiply. 1 times 3. I'll circle this to show you what I'm dividing by. 1 times 3 is 3. Now we subtract. We get 0 again. Now I'm going to bring down the 8. Bring down the 8. And this is what I'm dividing now. 3 can go into 8 how many times? It can't go 3 times. That's too big. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times. 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So we divided. Now we're multiplying. We got 6. Now we're subtracting. We get 2. Is 2 less than 3? Yes, it's a good number. Bring down. No more just to bring down, and we filled in every digit at the top. So it looks like my answer is 412. And don't forget about this, with 2 left over. 2 left over. So this one has a remainder. How do you check a problem with a remainder? Well, 412 times 2. Excuse me, not times 2. 412 times 3. Why did I do that? I took the quotient, which is 412, and I'm multiplying it by the divisor, by 3, and I should get back to the dividend, this part right here. So the answer I got at the top, times the divisor, which was 3, and I should get back to this middle part. But what do I do with this 2 left over? Let's find out. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3, but that's in the tens place. 3 times 4 is 12 in the thousands place, hundreds place. Now I got 1,236. Notice I did not get this answer yet. I have to take my leftover and add that back to it at the end. Add that back, and there we go. That looks better. 1,238, check it out, 1,238. So I know I got this problem right. So the quotient to this problem, 1,238 divided by 3 equals 412 with 2 left over, remainder 2. All right, so I'll go ahead and put that right here. S equals 412, remainder 2. All right, guys, I know this video is long, but I really want you guys getting a good grasp on division. The only way to do this, to get good at it, you got to practice it. So use these strategies with your IXLs, with your Con, and there is some practice you get to do on Canvas today. I think there's 3 problems. Show me your work. Show me what strategy you're using. You can try multiple strategies if you want. And check your work with multiplication to make sure you got it right. Show me you know how to check your work. All right? You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See you, bud.